Hey guys, I wanted to go over the whole online buying process a little bit and also to give you all the main reason I failed looking back on it for like 2.5 years straight. You guys knew, but it took me 2.5 years to get my first high ticket sale. And this concept, which I failed to understand and apply correctly in my business, cost me 2.5 years. And I don't want you all to make that same mistake to achieve success fast in this industry. And you don't want to have the same ups and same frustrations and pains and time loss that I had. In short, what it comes down to is keeping a sales pipeline full of qualified leads. That is one of the reasons that people fail. It's one of the main reasons. And you could go across all sales professions. 90% of people who fail in sales and affiliate marketing, network marketing, don't have a full pipeline. And that's the reason. Because when you put in trash, you're going to get trash out. You'll see it so many times. People will struggle and fail, and they seem to be doing everything right that their mentors are telling them. Just make content, blog posts, whatever, prospect, outreach, gather data, make offers, handle objections, buy. It's seemingly simple, but if you mess up the top part, everything else just fails completely. If you deal with unqualified prospects up here, the top of the funnel, nothing works. It doesn't matter. You can be an amazing salesperson. You can be Jordan Belfort. You can be Jeremy Miner. You can be like one of the best salespeople ever, but you won't be able to close anybody. No one. Doesn't matter how good you are. That's actually paraphrased of what Jordan Belfort actually said. I'm not just saying that's true. So it really comes down to knowing who's your target audience and who is your customer avatar. And it also comes down to you knowing who that looks like on social media too. What does their Facebook profile look like, for example? How old are they? Do they have a family? Do they not have a family? What countries are they from? What countries are they not from? What does their cover photo look like? Does it have text on it indicating that they are into affiliate marketing, that they are into online business? Do their posts signify these indicators of interest as well? Do they state specifically they are into affiliate marketing, that they are into network marketing? These are the characteristics you need to identify within each person's, and only when the prerequisites have been met should you add or connect with them and add them to your sales pipeline. Otherwise, never add people who are not qualified into your sales pipeline. Do not waste 1 minute speaking to people who are not qualified and who do not belong in your target audience, because that is valuable time you can be spending with prospects who will actually buy from you and who will actually intend to purchase. Okay. So prospecting, familiarity is where it all starts. Okay. So if you need to write down what your prospect looks like to you, and if you need to take some time to add that person, maybe if you only add 5 people a day, for example, make sure those 5 people are great prospects. Do not shortcut the process and randomly add people just because you're like, oh man, I got to hit 30 people a day. I got to add 30 people a day on Facebook. Don't shortcut yourself, because you're going to see the effects that has in your business in the long run, like it did for me. And I learned that the hard way. Once, though, you have added the right people, then you incorporate content marketing into your business in order to increase the speed at which people are sold. So what it does is it increases the frequency of how fast people buy. That's what content marketing does. Some people don't actually ever realize that, and they just completely ignore or put on the back burner content marketing. but it's what gets your audience familiar with who you are as a person. It gets them to know who you are, to like you, to see you as a figure of authority because you're educating them, you're telling them things they didn't know before. And you're also putting out offers on your content. You're telling people, hey, this is what I sell and this is how I can help you. When your content marketing does all that for you, you know what that does? It makes it so that you don't have to explain all of that when you're talking to people down the line over here. People aren't going to ask you a million questions. So who are you? You know, what's your company? What's your product? They're not going to ask you these things because they'll already know. And you know what that does? It speeds up the sales cycle. And that means that you get to talk to more prospects. And that means you get to have more conversations. And that means that you have more time to talk to people who actually purchase from you. So you see how that works? Content marketing is a catalyst to sales. So it is important to master, and it is important to implement consistently in your business. It does, in fact, have a purpose. Okay. And when you create it, you need to make sure that it is purposeful and that it gets your audience to know you, like you, trust you, see you as a figure of authority, and become pre-sold on your offer. If it does those 5 things, then your content's good. But if it's just meaningless, purposeless content that doesn't actually contribute to a sale or doesn't contribute to new beliefs, it doesn't contribute to a faster sale, then it's a waste of time. So you need to make sure that that is dialed down. Next, you got discovery. So when you're actually talking to people in the DMs, you have to figure out and confirm whether or not they're qualified. Okay, because maybe, just maybe, their profile is misleading, or maybe, just maybe, when you start texting them, they start giving you these weird messages about buying crypto or Forex, and maybe they don't have good grammar. Maybe they start calling you on Messenger or something. This stuff usually doesn't happen, but you want to make sure to actually talk to them. They are going to buy from you after all. You want to get a feel for who they are. Maybe they're a complete a-hole or something. You also want to gather prospect data while you're doing this. So what that looks like is you need to gather people's goals, their struggles, and what they've tried so far to fix those struggles that they've had, and if they're in the market for a solution. Okay, so those are the 4 things you need to figure out when you gather prospect data. Because if you don't have these data points, when you make an offer, it's going to seem out of left field from you to that person. And when they have that feeling, that means that they usually won't buy from you. Because when they're surprised, or do you think they're going to you? Would you buy from somebody that just surprised you with a offer that they just threw right in front of you? Right. Here's an analogy. It's kind of like maybe you've been friend zoned in your life before. You like really liked somebody, and then you told them, hey, I like you, but you had no indicators of that feeling that you showed towards them. So they had no idea, they're completely oblivious. And then when you tell them that, they're like, huh? What? I thought we were just friends, right? And then you're like heartbroken. Because you're like, what happened? Right. But you didn't make that clear. Okay. So sales has a similar correlation to that. All right. And also in the discovery, you need to continue to make content marketing and stuff, whether that it could be webinars, it could be like trainings you put in your group. You want to nurture them. You want to continue making content so that it builds that familiarity all at the same time while you're talking to the messenger. You don't want to just make content, stop content, and then talk to them, and then talk to them. You know what I mean? Like you do it all at the same time, right? Right. Next, consideration. So this is when you've already gathered all the prospect data that you find to be necessary in order for you to make a decision as to whether or not they are a fit for your offer. You don't want to just send offers to people randomly without any context, because they will have no context to buy. And also, if they do end up buying, they'll probably suffer buyer's remorse, or because they weren't expecting of what they got because they didn't know what they were getting, or they were like, "Oh, I have these problems. Why doesn't your offer solve these problems?" Right? So you run into a lot of issues that way. So in the consideration part, though, when you've gathered this data and you've qualified them already, then what you can do is you can offer them free advice, a demo, free trial, or free training on whatever problem it is that they have in their business. For example, perhaps somebody is having trouble closing sales in Messenger. They lack sales skills. What you can do when they reveal this information to you is you can offer them a free training. Hey, such and such, I saw, or well, based on that, I actually just made a YouTube video where I broke down my first $1,500 sale from A to Z. And I show how I built rapport. I show how I transitioned into business talk, how I gathered data, and how I actually closed the deal. Since you told me that you're struggling in that area, I think you would find it pretty helpful. If you want, I can just send you that link over and you can go ahead and take a look at it. And it would be like, sure, yeah, that would be super helpful. And you say, no problem. Yeah, here you go. Let me know what you think, by the way. When you do that, first of all, you're increasing your perceived level of authority in this person's mind, but you're also continuing to pre-sell them and to build that familiarity that you're building in the top of the funnel too. Okay, so the familiarity kind of builds up like a snowball rolling down the hill, turning into a giant snowball and then crashing at the end into a sale, so to speak. So this actually does have a purpose, giving people free trainings and stuff. Obviously, you don't want to give away the farm and tell them everything and give them no reason to buy, but you want to tell them what they can do and what they should focus on, but not how to go about it. You are selling how, not the what, really. Okay. Because anybody can figure out the what. You have Google. You can ask Google, hey, what should I do to do something, right? Or whatever. Right? But the how is different. How is paid for. So don't worry about giving too much info away or whatever. Okay. But you do want to make these digital assets very, very good and high quality so that they actually think to themselves like, whoa, maybe I feel like I should be paying for this. Like, if this is so good, I wonder what this paid stuff's like. You want to achieve that level of thinking in your prospect's mind without giving away the farm. So there's an art to it. Okay. And then you got to make the offer right after giving them a free training. If they like it, you say, oh, well, based on that, man, if you want more help in that area, I actually have a one-to-one coaching session that's going on till the end of October. I have a few more slots available. If you want, I can send you an offer on that if you'd be interested, just based on what you told me as far as you want to hit 5K months and you struggling with Messenger. This offer like specifically helps you with Messenger and helps you scale to 5K months and beyond with that in mind. So I thought it'd be a good fit. And even if you don't go through with it, like, maybe you can just have it in your back pocket if you're not ready to go with it or whatever. So anyway, I just thought I'd offer it to you anyways. Would you want to take a look at that? And it'd be probably like, sure, yeah. And then you just send it over and you go from there. Okay. Intent now is negotiation, final proposal, and then dealing with objections. This is the latter half of the sales process. Usually at this point, if you did everything right up here, you're not going to have many objections because you're already pre-selling them on what you do, how you do it, why you go about it, how you go about it, and the familiarity in your content marketing. And you're answering questions, you're gathering data and stuff. Like at this point, if you haven't messed up, like, or said something weird or crazy, they're not going to have so many objections for you, right? Maybe, and you can't force people to buy anything. Okay. That's a disclaimer. You can't, you don't want to get too aggressive with it. Okay. Cause then you burn bridges and relationships and then you can't sell them in the future, right? If you get to a point where they're like, oh, screw you, like you're horrible, you're so pushy and awful and whatever, like you don't want to get to that point. Like just keep it casual. Okay. If they say no and they like really mean it, just move on to the next person. Okay. Cause if you have a full pipeline full of qualified leads, you're not gonna be worried about it. Anyways, you shouldn't be that worried about it. Okay. Yeah. You want to close the sale, but like at what cost? You have to ask yourself that question too. All right. And then they buy, and then you upsell them from there. And what I mean by that is if you have like a higher level offer that you can level them up into, like for example, you might have one-to-one coaching on the back end of your offers that you have available. Maybe you sold them a course, but nah, maybe they need more help with the course and they want some one-to-one support. Then you can upsell them into another offer. So when you have a purchase, it doesn't mean that that's the only amount of money that you will ever get from this person. You can always just keep selling to them. If it's a good fit, you can always just keep selling to them. It doesn't have to be a one and done deal. In fact, you want to make multiple sales on the same customers. Because for one, they're more likely to buy from you. They're really familiar with you at this point. They basically, you want them to see you as like family at this point, almost, right? If you're working with them intimately, one-to-one, especially if you got them in a program and stuff, like they're going to be more likely to buy from you in the future. They buy from you once. You think it's going to be that hard for them to buy again? Probably not. Because if you already know you like and trust, see as a figure of authority, they bought from you once and they thought it was a legendary experience. Well, they'll buy from you again, probably, right? So that's the whole process. Familiarity, discovery, consideration, intent, purchase. It's a very simple graphic here. This is the whole online buying process. And that's what you need to keep in your mind as you go throughout this whole process. You need to be in a state of abundance when you do this too. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, if your top of the funnel is full of qualified prospects, then you're not going to be needy. You're not going to talk to people you shouldn't be talking to. And you're going to make a lot of sales if you go about all this right and you have the skills already. Right. If you need the skills though, it's a different story. If you need sales skills, you need content skills, that's different. Okay. And if you do need help with that, I do have offers as far as that goes. So you can reach out to me if you're interested or you just see something in general about it. But usually like this other stuff is pretty straightforward. Like you're not going to need that much help with it as long as you do it right the first time. Okay? Don't skip it. Don't shortcut anything. Make sure there's quality at the top, so there's quality at the bottom, and don't put trash in the top so you get trash at the bottom. Because a lot of people make that mistake. So ingrain all this in your head. Watch this video again if you need to. I know it's a lot probably for some people to kind of digest all of this, but hopefully this gave you a good synopsis of the process in general about how you should go online selling to people as affiliate marketer, network marketer, whatever, what have you, as personal brand. Okay. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in another video. Peace out.